Once upon a time, a person went to Gautam Buddha, seeking advice on how to control his emotions. The person was struggling with anger and frustration and was looking for a way to manage his emotions better. Buddha smiled and asked him to sit down. He said, "I will tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a king who ruled a prosperous country. One day, he decided to visit a neighboring kingdom. He had heard that the king of that kingdom was famous for his wisdom. When he arrived, he was welcomed with great honor. The king of the neighboring kingdom had prepared a grand feast in his honor. During the feast, the visiting king noticed a fly in his soup. He was disgusted and ordered his servant to bring him another bowl of soup. The king of the neighboring kingdom saw this and said, "Your Majesty, please do not be angry. It is just a small fly. It does not matter." The visiting king replied, "I cannot tolerate such things. Even a small fly can ruin my mood." The king of the neighboring kingdom smiled and said, "Your Majesty, allow me to give you a piece of advice. It is not the fly that ruined your mood, but your reaction to it. You have the power to control your emotions. Do not let them control you." The king realized the wisdom in these words and returned to his kingdom. From that day onwards, he started practicing the art of not reacting to situations that would have previously triggered his emotions. He found that he was able to maintain his composure in challenging situations and make better decisions. The power of not reacting is an important lesson for all of us. We often react to situations without thinking, which can lead to negative consequences. Reacting with anger and frustration can damage our relationships and hinder our ability to make clear-headed decisions. However, it is important to understand that not reacting does not mean suppressing our emotions. Emotions are a natural part of the human experience, and it is important to acknowledge them. Instead of reacting impulsively, we should take the time to process our emotions and respond in a thoughtful manner. In another part of the world, there lived a young man named Michael. He was a very emotional person and often reacted impulsively to situations that upset him. He would get angry and say hurtful things, which led to arguments and hurt feelings. One day, Michael decided to take control of his emotions. He knew that his impulsive reactions were causing more harm than good, and he wanted to change. He started practicing mindfulness and meditation, which helped him become more aware of his thoughts and emotions. He also began practicing the art of not reacting. Whenever he found himself in a situation that would normally trigger his emotions, he would take a step back and take a few deep breaths. He would then assess the situation calmly and respond in a thoughtful manner. At first, it was difficult for Michael to control his emotions. He would still get angry and frustrated, but he learned to take a step back and not react impulsively. As he continued to practice, he found it became easier to control his emotions. Michael also noticed that his relationships with others improved. He was no longer getting into arguments or hurting people's feelings. Instead, he communicated in a calm and thoughtful manner, which helped him build stronger relationships. One day, Michael's friend was impressed and asked him how he learned to control his emotions. Michael shared his experience with mindfulness and the power of not reacting. He encouraged his friend to try it out for himself, and his friend was grateful for the advice. Over time, Michael became known for his calm and thoughtful demeanor. He was able to handle difficult situations with ease, and people admired him for his strength and resilience. He continued to practice mindfulness and the art of not reacting, and he found that it brought him a sense of inner peace and happiness. The power of not reacting is a valuable lesson that we can all learn from. It takes practice and patience, but the rewards are well worth it. By controlling our emotions, we can improve our relationships, make better decisions, and live a more fulfilling life. The moral of the story of the king and Michael teaches us that we have the power to control our emotions. We may not be able to control what happens to us, but we can control how we react to it. By practicing mindfulness and the art of not reacting, we can learn to control our emotions and respond in a thoughtful manner. It is a powerful tool that can help us improve our relationships, our well-being, and our overall quality of life. So let us take the time to practice and cultivate this powerful skill and let it transform our lives for the better. Anger will never disappear so long as thoughts of resentment are cherished in the mind. Anger will disappear just as soon as thoughts of resentment are forgotten. He who holds back rising anger like a rolling chariot is a true driver. Other people are but holding the reins. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. One who conquers himself is greater than another who conquers 1,000 times 1,000 on the battlefield. Do not be led by your reactions. Be led by your actions. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. In a controversy, the instant we feel anger, we have already ceased striving for the truth and have begun striving for ourselves. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. You will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger. The root of suffering is attachment. If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. Letting go gives us freedom, and freedom is the only condition for happiness. If in our heart we still cling to anything, anger, anxiety, or possessions, we cannot be free. Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace. All that we are is the result of what we have thought. Respond, don't react. Respond with reason, not emotion. In the end, only 3 things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. Happiness never decreases by being shared. We are shaped by our thoughts. We become what we think. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. No one saves us but ourselves. No one can, and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path.